I would like to invite everyone here to close your eyes and reflect on your actions and feelings today. Now, how are you feeling? You can open your eyes again. Everyone is constantly feeling something, whether it's boredom right now and you wish I would stop talking, or genuine interest and curiosity, looking forward to what I have to say. Whatever emotion it is, sad, happy, frustrated, or angry, it will pass. As Maya Angelou once said, no matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life does go on, and it will be better tomorrow. With that being said, I am Adrian Lutz and proudly present to you my quest project, Health is Wealth. Now, coming up with the right quest project was very challenging. Some ideas I had were a little far-fetched, such as plasmification, which is heating up trash to a certain temperature until it's broken up into its elements. It was a new invention, and we knew someone who wanted to build a factory here. Due to time constraints, it just simply wasn't possible. On the other hand, other ideas just felt a little plain, and it was just overwhelming. One thing I kept coming back to, though, was SDG 3, good health and well-being. At first, I wanted to do something sports-related. Then the thought of suicide prevention came. But why did I choose this? I wanted to do something that wouldn't just be forgotten once I leave and made or even still makes an impact today. I started thinking more outside the box regarding mental health and how people are suffering due to the lack of it and how it needs to be addressed urgently. Eventually, I chose to work on suicide prevention. But we cannot understand much regarding suicide without first digging deeper. According to the World Health Organization, more than 700,000 people die per year due to suicide alone. It is also the fourth leading cause of death among 15 through 29-year-olds. And did you know that Bali has an 8 times higher suicide rate than the national average in Indonesia? I'm working together with Bali Bersama Bisa. And if that name sounds familiar, then you're correct. That's because back in COVID-19, they were practically non-existent due to a lack of funds and donations until a couple of Green School students came along and changed that, ultimately reviving them in the process as part of their capstone project. Now the suicide hotline is up and running, but they have one new, enormous problem. Did you know that hundreds of calls were missed per day at Bali Bersama Bisa? That is, until this project came along, but more of that later. Coming back to this astronomical number, not only is it preposterous, but also scary. So many people calling for help, but nobody responded. Anyways, let me tell you a little bit about this foundation. Bali Bersama Bisa is the only suicide hotline in Bali with just volunteers working. Their website is bisahelpline.org, and they treat on average 2,000 people per month. This number itself is already amazing, but unfortunately not enough. I had my sights set on building an app and was in the midst of doing so with Bali Bersama Bisa, which Ibu Laura referred me to, so thank you for that. But I had no coding experience whatsoever. Anyways, after thinking, overthinking, and some more thinking, I had an epiphany. I suddenly realized that with 91% of Indonesians using WhatsApp, wouldn't it be so much easier and just simply more convenient to add a WhatsApp chatbot to your contacts? As opposed to having to install a new interface and as opposed to having to install an app and learn a whole new interface. This chatbot would provide both convenience and accessibility. But something I'd like to bring to everyone's mind is how, unfortunately, feeling depression or even suicidal thoughts is known as a taboo, especially here in Bali. It is actually scarily like Voldemort, he who shall not be named, or in this case, the feeling or emotion that shall not be named, spoken of, or even thought of. According to the Bali Bersama Bisa Foundation, the people of Bali have an approach such as the following. Feeling such emotions is seen as a curse and something to be hugely ashamed of, and will be passed down for generations to come. Naturally, this is just unacceptable and must be changed. Having gotten this from the World Health Organization, such taboos make it much more likely for anyone to struggle with such feelings of depression, stress, anxiety, and even potentially suicidal thoughts, as just seeking help is simply not an option. Think of all the children, men and women alike, that are feeling such emotions deep down, but have to hide it. I would like you to vividly imagine a 13-year-old boy struggling with feelings he has no idea what to do with, secretly worrying that there's something wrong with him. Imagine that boy reaching out to that hotline, but nobody responding. Again, this is where this project comes in. Adding to this problem, stated by cultural and religious insights, mental health issues are a taboo here in Bali. This cultural factor contributes to underreporting in regions like Bali, which, while predominantly Hindu, share similar societal views on suicide. Furthermore, provided by the Bali Bersama Bisa Foundation, did you know that 69% of the people who reach out to the suicide hotline are 11 through 19 years old? When I first came to propose my project, it was frankly serendipitous how mine fit theirs like a puzzle piece. The volunteers were both lovely and welcoming, and just overall very grateful for this revelation. We started brainstorming, I got a bigger picture of what exactly they wanted, and down to business we went. Now, I've been talking so much about this bot. What I'm about to show you is a sample conversation of how the chatbot would actually respond. Let's have a look at how it works. Anyway, the chat would keep going, but as you can see, it's very sped up. And ultimately, at the end, the chatbot did end up finding a solution. Anyways, of course, we encountered some obstacles. Like one maybe being that I had no coding experience whatsoever. But hey, the idea was to use a no-code drag and drop software. Eventually, some coding would still be needed though. After a ton of YouTube tutorials, ChatGPT explanations, and guidance from my mentors, I slowly started getting it to work. With advice from my mentors, I built the chatbot using Python. And it lives in the cloud, or more specifically, AWS Lambda. The chatbot is AI-driven and trained on thousands of real conversations, with the goal to be the first point of contact, in case necessary, hand over the conversation to a human operator. I'd like to quickly thank my mentor, Matham, for helping me build the bot, being so kind, generous, and overall patient. So thank you. Anyways, the bot will feed users techniques based on the user's situation and urgency, as you could see before. The goal is to de-escalate critical situations, and if it can't, then it escalates the conversation over to a human operator. Now, you may be thinking, what could possibly go wrong? Suicide prevention and AI, those two definitely should not overlap. But the answer to that is simple. We're not letting the AI prevent suicides. We're just filtering the callers and then routing them into the right hands. Think of my chatbot as a funnel. It's the first point of contact, trying to figure out how to best help the caller. And if it can't, well, then we direct the conversation over to a human operator. But the chatbot isn't the only thing that's needed. Funding is almost as critical, if not more. Once I built the bot, I focused on raising both money and awareness. I worked together with Sarah, Nevi, Nadia, who are just some of the fabulous volunteers working at Bali Bersama Bisa. And together, at events such as Spirit Friday, we raised a total of 4 million Indonesian rupiah. So now, we still need your help. Please help me increase the total to 10 million IDR and scan the QR code to donate. Or contact me directly at adrian.lutz@student.greenschool.org. This will be up again afterwards, so don't worry. Your donation literally will save lives. Coming towards the end, I wanted to hand out a few thank yous to all the people who supported me. When I call your name, why don't you stand up so that we can all give you the round of applause that you deserve. I would like to thank Ibu Laura. Without Eva Laura, I would never have even known about Bali Bersama Biza, and ultimately, this project would not have been successful. Thank you. Ibu Angie. I'd like to thank Ibu Angie for having been so supportive and helping me greatly with my speech. Thank you. I'd like to deeply thank Pak Mats. Thank you for having provided such great insight and perspective, but for also having truly cared about the success and quality of my presentation. Thank you so much. I'd like to deeply thank my parents, Gloria and Ralph, and while they can't really get up, nothing would have been possible without you two, and thank you for always supporting me, being there, and just overall being the best. Thank you. I'd like to thank Amin, who's unfortunately not here, but I'd like to thank him for being very supportive and just always helping me out no matter what. Thank you. I would like to thank Bali Bersama Biza. Thank you, Bali Bersama Biza, for having been so welcoming and helping out as much as possible. Without you, this never would have been possible. Now, I'd also like to thank all the people who bought merchandise or just donating to the cause. Thank you. And you, the audience, every additional face I saw made me even more nervous. But the good news is that you can make up for it by donating to the cause. Remember that 13-year-old boy I was talking about earlier? You decide if he gets the help he needs. No pressure. With this project, I hope I will be able to save hundreds of lives, if not more. Of course, I will continue progressing and improving it in the future, no matter where in the world I am. Thank you.